So a lot of students that have watched quite a number of my videos have requested that I make a video on how to set a reading pattern or a reading routine or a studying routine at the university or in school. So today I'm going to be sharing some practical tips on how you can set or establish a reading pattern in school that could help you ace your exams and excel and get the grade that you truly desire while you are carrying out your undergraduate studies. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. Hey, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Rachel here. As always, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a thing. Like this video as well so that it is fair to other viewers, and you can also share it with your friends or people who you feel will benefit from it. So like I said at the intro, today we're going to be sharing some tips on how you can establish or set a reading pattern or a studying pattern while at the university so that you can ace your exams, understand more, and gain a better understanding of your courses or just even excel at the university. I'm a lawyer. I studied law at the undergrad. So a lot of the videos that I make are usually for law students. But if you're an undergraduate student, best believe that you can definitely benefit from this. So the reason why I'm doing this video is because in the comments, while I look through some of the popular videos that have a lot of views on them, I see quite a number of comments from students who are already frustrated in their first year or their second year, saying that they're frustrated, they feel overwhelmed, they don't know where to go to, they feel like they've lost their path, they don't know how to focus or concentrate or even set a reading timetable for themselves. They feel so swamped and overwhelmed. They don't know what to put first and what to put last. And that's why I decided to do this video. So this video is going to help you set that reading pattern so that you understand more and you are able to gain more, also able to balance your life. You go to school, yes, and the important thing is to make sure that you pass and get a good grade, but you also have to be able to balance your life across different aspects: spiritually, mentally, intellectually, socially, physically, and other aspects of your life that matter, because these will ultimately help you become the best student that you can be. So let's get into it. The first step I would definitely recommend would be to decide right now that you are going to set a reading routine. Now, there's a lot of things that go on at the university. There's a lot of extracurricular activities. There's a lot of courses or modules. Worse is, even if you're in you're in a course that you didn't originally want to go to, so you don't even have passion for it, and it's more or less like you're cramming in so much information, you have to decide that you want to set a reading routine. There's so much distraction now with social media and a lot of things that you can see. A lot of students spend too much time on social media, on TikTok, Instagram, X, and then you're wondering why you're overwhelmed. If you want to truly see a change in your understanding, whether it is in attending classes or in doing better with assessments and tests, you need to have that reading pattern and that reading routine where you know that you're going to keep time aside to study or just to understand or to rest or to socialize. You need to have a routine and a pattern at the university. And so the first step would be to decide. It's very simple, it's very straightforward. Once you have decided, then you can take the other tips. You cannot go to the other tips without deciding, because when you make that decision out loud and to yourself, what that means is that all your actions have to be in alignment with this decision that you have made. The second point that I would give, which is a practical tip, would be to have a to-do list. I've employed the use of having a to-do list since I think maybe I was in my late teens. Once I entered into university and I saw that there was always so much to get done, I started having a to-do list. And it simply just required me using a jotter and just writing down the date and what I want to achieve that day. So if I had to go to class and I knew that, I was going to have 4 classes that day and I want to catch up, I'll come to attending classes shortly. What I did was I had a to-do list. If I had anything, any assessments, any tests, any chapters that I didn't quite understand while I was in class, I will come back from class and then I will sit down, I will update the to-do list, the one that I had in the morning where I wrote, go to maybe contract law class, go to family law class, attend a business law class, and then afterwards maybe copy the remaining notes from blah blah blah. If I'm slacking on some notes that maybe I didn't copy for whatever reason, maybe I wasn't in school when class resumed, I'll write and reach out to Toby, for example, to get business law notes, collect business law note from Toby, finish business law notes, and I'll have like different check boxes beside it so that I can tick it off while I'm doing that. Now, that really helped me because what happened was I was not as overwhelmed again. Especially during exam time, revision time, there's so many things coming at you. You can have projects, you can have tests, assessments, things that you need to read for, and things that you need to keep track of, especially in my first 2 years where we're borrowing so many courses. I would have to buy this handbook, I would have to buy that one, I would have to call this person just so that I wasn't losing track of what was going on. And I made sure that I was also keeping in touch with people in my class. You cannot be an island when you are in the university. You have to make sure that you have the phone number of at least 5 of your colleagues or your friends in class. And I mean the ones that attend classes, not people who sit in their hostels and do nothing all day. You need to have the phone number of your class rep, of your assistant class rep. If you have a class rep for each course, maybe your course rep, get the phone number of the person so that you can call them and ask them, please, what's going on? Is there any class that I missed? Is there any class happening today? So that you don't miss out on things. It's very, very important. If your class has a WhatsApp group, make sure that you join it. This is another extra bonus tip that I didn't even intend to talk about, but it's very, very important. And it aligns with having that to-do list. When you have a to-do list, you're more organized. You're able to prioritize your tasks, you're able to prioritize your to-do, and you're able to see them at a glance so that tasks don't slip. If you have things to do before exams are coming up, or you have things to do before class happens, or even after class, you need to make sure that you're always in line with your to-do list. Of course, you can be flexible, adaptable, but make sure that you have something that is guiding you day by day, week by week, and month by month. The third tip that I would give is to find out what reading pattern or studying pattern works for you. Now, for certain people, they don't read before class, they don't read after class. The only times that they go back to their notes from before is to read during exams. Some people, they read before class, after class, and every week. At the end of the week on Friday, they go through all the courses and all the things that they've read. Some people only do after class if there's something that they didn't understand. Some people read in the morning, some people read in the evening, some people read at midnight. Some people prefer the libraries or their hostels. You need to find out what reading or studying pattern works for you. I was somebody who enjoyed learning new things, and I still am. So once I go to class, I am good as long as I am personally in class, not that I'm copying notes from somebody or somebody's telling me what happened in class. If I am personally in class, I am good. Because even in my exams, I'm remembering some of the things that the lecturer said when people burst out laughing, maybe a joke that he cracked, or maybe the way he pronounced a particular case and it stood out to me and I echoed it and I laughed to myself. It helped me remember that particular case for that principle or maybe that section. So I didn't have to read every day. I didn't have to read every week. Sometimes when I'm done from class, if there's something that I didn't understand, if I'm not too tired, I may open my book and just check and see what it is, or maybe at the end of the week. I particularly didn't really care much for going to the library or going to a special room to go and read where it looked like everybody was serious. But sometimes I did, especially when I felt like maybe my immediate dormitory was a little bit noisy, or I wanted to be in an environment that was not my room just so that I didn't fall asleep on my bed. So sometimes I would read in the midnight, sometimes I'll read in the day. I was so flexible, but that doesn't work for everybody. You need to find out what works for you. It's so easy to get caught up in what your roommate is doing or what you're seeing on TikTok or Instagram or social media, or what people who are the smartest people in your class are doing, and you want to like go to that dormitory, but you know that when you go there, you're not going to focus, or you want to read every week. Meanwhile, you know that during the week there was a course that you didn't particularly understand and you need to spend extra time. You need to find out what works for you. And how would you find out what works for you? By trying different things. Try and stay up in the midnight, maybe from 12 to like 2. If you fall asleep, you know that this is not for me. If you take some coffee and you're able to stay up, maybe it's for you. You understand? You have to be open to trying different things and trying new things, especially when it comes to reading pattern. Remember that you're at the university for a purpose. You're there to read, pass, gain knowledge, understand, and pass your exams and come out in flying colors, because good grades look good on a CV, and a good CV gets you one leg into a very good job. So you need to find out what works for you. It's very, very important. And when you find out what works for you, stick to it, even if you're the only one who is doing that. If you don't have friends going to the hostel library with you, or to the school library with you to read, or you don't have people who are staying up with you at 12 a.m. or they're laughing at you, now you they read past exam, no, they even come. Stick to what works for you. And for my non-Nigerian listeners, that phrase just meant, oh, like your friends are mocking you and saying, are you the person who might read the most when an exam is not even around the corner? Stick to what makes you. I know there was somebody who I knew who she used to read in the mornings before she came to class, and immediately after she came to class, she removed her white and black, because we wore white and black for law students, and then she gets straight into it. And she used to say that it just helps her to be able to remember what she has learned from class, because sometimes class is very overwhelming, so much information coming at once. So remember, find out what worked for you and stick to it no matter what. The fourth tip I will give, which I've already mentioned before, would be to attend classes. You cannot go wrong when you attend classes at the university. A lot of people just always feel like, oh, I'll just take the notes after, or they're just too many. No, you're there primarily for one purpose, which is to actually gain knowledge. And how do you gain knowledge? From your lecturers, from your course notes, from your classes, from discussions that happen in class, from presentations that happen in class. You need to attend classes. Don't think that you can get by with a good grade if you don't attend classes. A lot of the knowledge that is going to be retained in your mind and in your memory is going to come from what was discussed in class. Another tip, which is very important if you're going to establish and set a reading or studying routine for yourself, would be to eliminate distractions. This is a very tough one, especially for people who are currently in school, who are content creators. You probably even have a side job. Some people have so many things going on while they are in school. And even if you don't even have any side job, you're just so addicted to your phone, social media, chatting on WhatsApp, talking to so many people. Look, I'm thankful that, in my time, we didn't have so much of this. Social media was just coming out then and really blowing up, but it wasn't that crazy as it is now. So when it comes to setting aside distractions and your phone, you really, really need to be intentional. That's just the truth. Nobody is going to do it for you. If you cannot say that you're going to keep aside 2 or 3 hours to read, maybe 1 hour with a 5 minute or 10 minutes break to press your phone or eat something, come back for 1 hour. If you cannot decide to do that, then really there's no point watching this video, because I can't come there personally to help you. You have to decide. When you set your to-do list and you set your reading pattern, you have to decide that you're going to turn off your phone or keep aside your phone, silence notifications for those amount of times. And when I say silence notifications, I mean don't let the phone vibrate. The phone should not vibrate when you are reading or trying to study. Honestly, this will help. I'm not really going to belabor it because you know what to do. So you need to be disciplined. If you have an issue with that, maybe go and drop the phone somewhere else, or leave the phone in your room when you're going to the library to read, or find something that works. You know what works for you, so stick to it and just get to work. And the last one, which is closely tied to this tip, is to practice discipline. Look, if you want to get a particular good grade at the university, you have no other choice but to practice discipline. Whether it is discipline in setting a routine or a reading pattern, discipline in saying no to certain activities when you should be reading, discipline in terms of balancing your life in terms of social activities and academic activities, discipline in terms of making sure that you're not doing too much, that your academic work is suffering, discipline in terms of just even reading and taking time to go to classes, discipline when it comes to saying you're going to drop your phone even if it's for 1, 2, or 3 hours to read. You're going to have to practice discipline. If you cannot be intentional or you cannot discipline yourself, then it's going to be very tough for you to establish or even follow through on a reading pattern. Somebody had commented and said, oh, she feels so confused, that she's a slow learner. I said, first of all, what words are you using to describe yourself? You're not a slow learner. Don't call yourself that. If you have difficulties with learning because there's so much information coming at you in class at once, then there are alternative solutions to that. But you make sure that you attend class. You take down as much notes as you can. That's also something in addition to attending class. Make sure that you take notes as much as you can. And also make sure that when you come back after class, you're able to read through what you have learned. So don't label yourself as anything negative, right? But you have to make sure that you are intentional and you are disciplined when it comes to your coursework and your academics. I hope these tips were very helpful to you. Let me know if they were. If there are any other topics that you would like me to discuss, please let me know in the comments. If there's any other thing that you'd like me to give practical tips on, let me know in the comments as well. I'm here to serve you guys. and I'm here to just help you out. If you have any personal questions or any personal queries, you can send an email. My email is in the description box. You can send an email to me. I currently mentor a number of students that are doing their undergraduate and even in their law school at the moment, and I'm always excited to help you. So please, you can send me an email. All right. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.